Okay, first of all, let's discuss the shirt. Yes, it's the wrong color. I know that it's the wrong color, and you know that it's the wrong color too. It's the wrong color. But this is how it goes. I get up in the morning, I put on whatever I can get, you know, whatever's the closest. And I'm like, you know, oh, you know what? I think I'll make a Seahawks video, and I'm totally not dressed for it. So, and I'm too lazy to go upstairs and get another shirt. Actually, it's not just that. They're in the wash, because after the Seahawks-Panther game last weekend, where the Seahawks defeated the Panthers, I've been wearing Seahawks gear pretty much exclusively, so now they're all in the wash, getting ready for the next weekend. So I'm wearing orange, which completely clashes, and I understand that. We're moving on. I just felt like making a video to dispel, or just in response to some of the things I've heard. Fuzzy, it's very frustrating. I've heard on YouTube and on various in comments under various blogs having to do with the Seahawks. Somebody was having a problem with the fact that the 12, they're like, oh, you know, fuzzies. It's really embarrassing. That the Seahawks fans have not always been loud. They're just loud now because the Seahawks are doing well. That's not nice to say, and it's not true. Fans have always been loud. Seahawk fans like to point out that they were extra vocal even back in the old Kingdome days. By some accounts, the NFL's now defunct noise rule, penalizing crowds that were too loud, was the direct result of a game in the Kingdome where Denver quarterback John Elway complained to the officials that he couldn't relay his signals. Kingdome, that was a while ago. Fan Mike Schaefer says he thinks the 12th man screams so loud as a way of countering East Coast bias. The News Tribune of Tacoma sports columnist Dave Bowling spins it a more positive way. He says it's our way of showing we're proud of our life in the Pacific Northwest. You can't go out in the corner and start screaming, I work for Microsoft, yay! Or I drink Starbucks, woohoo! What are your outlets for taking pride in a vocal manner? And in some ways, the teams are tangible representations of the pride we take in our region, Bowling said. And he says it isn't just Seahawk fans who wear the We're Proud and Loud label. The Seattle Sounders, who also play at CenturyLink Field, yell and blow horns throughout. I think they mean to say the Seattle Sounder fans, or whatever. It's written badly. The Seattle Sounders, who also play at CenturyLink Field, ... their fans, he doesn't write that in there, yell and blow horns throughout the entire game. The way he has it, the Sounders themselves are doing that, but I don't think they're doing that because they're playing. And Husky Stadium, now under reconstruction, actually it's all done, it looks really beautiful, is known as a very noisy college venue. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to work before this renovation. I was a police explorer, and I used to stand on the field at the Husky Stadium and get deafened by the noise, and that was way back in the 70s. So anyway, yes, it's loud here in Seattle. Seattle is loud. The fans are enthusiastic. Why are we so enthusiastic? Well, I think this song puts it very well.
Of all team that can make it all the way. The Sonics and the Sounders both are worthy of our praise. The Seahawks with Botero will eventually pull through, but I ain't never seen nothing like Seattle Slew. This town ain't had no glory now in oh so many years. It seems it's been forever since those Pasadena cheers. And from out of nowhere, this wonder horse came through, and I ain't never seen nothing like Seattle Slew. Nobody can do what you can do, Seattle Slew. You won't hold it against you if Kentucky's where you came. And when you come to visit us, we'll pray there won't be rain. But believe me when you took the Triple Crown with ease. And all the ones who doubted you, you brought them to their knees. Your record's undefeated and your dreams have all come true. And I ain't never seen nothing like Seattle snow. Ain't never seen nothing like Seattle snow. Seattle snow. Nobody can do what you can do. Seattle snow. Ain't never seen nothing like Seattle snow. Nobody can do what you can do. Seattle snow. Ain't never seen nothing like Seattle snow.
In addition to the fact that Seattle has been starving for decades for a championship, a team to just, I don't know, reflect our spirit. The Seahawks themselves, the guys, it's hard to not love them. And people who put down the Seahawks, it angers me because they're an outstanding group of young men and they do so much for their community. I drive Uber, and I had a lady in my car last night who was telling me about Russell Wilson, who, I mean, this is me trying to relay a story. In fact, I'm going to see if I can find the story, so hang on a second. Okay, so the article's dated December 31st, 2014. Russell Wilson wants to find teen a new heart. And it reads, Russell Wilson has taken to social media in the hopes of finding a teen a new heart. Wilson, who visits patients at Seattle Children's Hospital every Tuesday, posted a video, on Instagram with the boy identified only as Chris. Wilson is sitting next to Chris, who was lying in his hospital bed. So, we're at Seattle Children's Hospital right now, and we're with Chris. He's 16 years old. My man needs a heart transplant. Anyone got an extra heart? Rooting for you guys. Thank you guys so much. Go Hawks, said Wilson. Yeah, added Chris. Last year, another heart transplant patient, Allison Christensen, gained fame after Wilson showed off the duct tape wallet she made for him. That same day, a donor was found, and Christensen had her heart transplant.
So we're at Seattle Children's Hospital right now. We're with Chris. He's 16 years old. My man needs a heart transplant. Anybody got an extra heart? Rooting for you guys. Thank you guys so much. Go Hawks.
Yeah.
Go Hawks.
And this article is dated September 12, 2014. The other Super Bowl winners, Seahawks charities. As the Seattle Seahawks defend their Super Bowl title, kids from Girl Scouts to gang members are reaping the spoils of the Hawks' success. Partnerships with the likes of Boeing, Outer Wall, Russell Investments, and Starbucks argument team foundations to support various services that share a common aim, helping young people. The Super Bowl victory has really broadened the outreach of the team, said Seahawks President Peter McLaughlin. Our on-field success has provided exposure and opportunities to connect with a much broader audience. The post-Super Bowl exposure burst promises to supersize the philanthropic cloud of the team, which is sifting through an anticipated 7,000 requests for charity donations this year, double that of last year. One new initiative, the Legion of Youth, debuted at the Hawks home opener. 100 youngsters got a complimentary ticket, food, and a sweatshirt as part of the pact with Boeing that provides 100 free tickets per regular season home game to organizations serving area young people. Other partnerships expand on causes the Seahawks have long supported, such as the 3-year-old program with insurer USAA to adopt a military unit each season to boost support for the troops. The Seahawks also support causes through a series of charitable foundations, starting with the $282 million Paul G. Allen Family Foundation overseen by the team's owner, There are also foundations set up by the team itself, Coach Pete Carroll, and at least 7 current players. The team's effort, the Seattle Seahawks Charitable Foundation, has helped nonprofits raise more than $2.7 million since 2004 through its Spirit of 12 Partners program. 5 partner nonprofits, selected for 3-year terms, take turns selling game day programs at CenturyLink Field. The nonprofits keep all proceeds, which are matched dollar for dollar by the Paul G. Allen Family Foundation. It's a brilliant program, said Andrew Minier, Chief Development Officer for the YMCA of Greater Seattle. They're promoting volunteerism. They're promoting philanthropy. The Seahawks have been a strong partner for nonprofits since their inception. Game day sales raise about $50,000 a year for each current Spirit of 12 partner. Girl Scouts of Western Washington, Treehouse, Boys and Girls Clubs of Washington State, YMCA, and Campfire Snohomish. Last season, 2 home playoff games swelled the pot to $75,000, and this year it could be even bigger. Bellevue-based automated kiosk operator Outerwall Incorporated, as part of a partnership deal linked in July, has pledged $512 for every Seahawk home game first down to be split evenly between Spirit of 12 partners. Through the preseason and first regular season game, the tally stood at $36,352. Most of its share is earmarked for financial assistance, said Amy Goodlow, the annual giving manager for Girl Scouts of Western Washington. It lets us give more girls the opportunity to become Girl Scouts. At the other end of the spectrum, Carroll's foundation is trying to prevent older children from becoming gangsters. A Better Seattle, the local iteration of A Better Los Angeles, backs the YMCA of Greater Seattle's Alive and Free program, which reaches out to extremely at-risk youth. Buoyed by a $50,000 donation from the corporate sponsor Starbucks, the foundation provided enough funding last year to double the number of Alive and Free outreach workers and extend its borders into South King County. Alive and Free served 375 young people last year in Auburn, Kent, Renton, Seattle, and Tukwila. Of 201 who were in a new warrant prevention program, 141 avoided a warrant for missed court appearances, a common problem among young offenders, and completed all their legal obligations. Another 23 received a warrant but resolved it and remained out of custody. Many kids miss court dates because they don't have a ride or a reliable address. The YMCA's Minier explained. Warrants compound the original charge, burying offenders even deeper. Alive and Free outreach workers make sure kids get to court and hold them accountable for meeting court decrees. They also connect their clients with positive support systems. An apt description of Carroll, who is hardly a figurehead in the effort. He attends board meetings and invites Alive and Free youngsters out to practice, peppering them with the same energetic advice he gives his players. Their eyes light up, said Richard Jones, a Greater Seattle YMCA board member and former National YMCA board member. Pete encourages the kids to be leaders in their communities. The first thing he talks about are leadership, success, and school. Jones, a U.S. District Court judge, reads hundreds of pre-sentencing reports for youthful offenders. I can't tell you how many times I've paused and reflected what it would be like if we had more programs like Alive and Free, he said. That small opportunity might have made a big difference in one boy's life. Russell Okung can identify with that. The Seahawk offensive tackle, whose father was murdered when Okun was 5, started the UP Foundation to help single-parent families. Much of it centers on providing basic school supplies, haircuts, assistance with scholarship applications. We address environmental needs, Okun says. If I can help one child, it's worth it. Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson couldn't wait to establish a foundation before serving kids. In his rookie season 3 years ago, Wilson phoned Seattle Children's Hospital unsolicited to arrange weekly Tuesday visits. He keeps the schedule faithfully. Meanwhile, Wilson has partnered with Seattle-based financial services firm Russell Investments. no relation. The company will donate $3,000 this season per Wilson touchdown to the Power of Mind Foundation, which the quarterback is apparently still in the process of formalizing. Last season, Russell Investments contributed $63,000 for Wilson's 30 touchdowns, plus $12,000 in honor of the team's 12th man fans. Power of Mind directed that money equally to 3 nonprofits: the Northwest chapter of the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, City Year, a school dropout prevention program, and Treehouse, which supports foster children. More partnerships could be in the works, McLaughlin said. We love it when they win. It creates a positivity that's fun to be part of, said the YMCA's Minier. But winning season or not so winning season, they're present in the community. We think the Seahawks are special. So yeah, the Seahawks are more than just a football team. I don't know if other football teams do that kind of stuff. Maybe they do. But the fact is, here in Seattle, there's a lot of reasons why people love the Seahawks. That and the fact that they're hardworking athletes that reach for excellence in every game. I really have a hard time with people who say, I just hate the Seahawks. I don't understand that mentality. I don't hate any team. I don't really like the Steelers, but it's not really the Steelers' fault what happened in 2005 with what I consider to be very bad calls. But I don't really hate any football team, and I think it's always really awesome when an underdog finally gets a Super Bowl. And that's what the Seahawks were. They were an underdog, and they finally got the Super Bowl. I've lived here in Seattle since 1971. Guess what else I'm a fan of? Yeah, I'm a Packer fan. Big Packer fan. My dad and my uncle took me to Lambeau when I was a little kid, and I think that the Pack is awesome. They're my other team. And yet, I support the Seahawks. I was here for the decades when the Seahawks they just never really fired. They were just, people in other states didn't even know who they were. Nobody knew who Seahawks, who were they? And there was no respect for the Seahawks, and there was no respect for Seattle, and there was no respect for Seahawk fans. And though I'm a Packer fan, and though I wear Packer gear too, and I cheer for the Pack, it's been really frustrating for me to see Seattle and Seattle's teams treated with the attitude, just because we're far out in the north, whatever, we're a fun city filled with fun, competitive people who want to see our team succeed just as much as every other fan base in this country. And now the Seahawks are finally, it's like a dream come true for many people here in Seattle. Last year when they won the Super Bowl, I saw grown men cry. It was very emotional. In the Packers have won 4 Super Bowls, and 2 of them I was either not really into football or I was too young. But the last 2 Super Bowls they won, I was there cheering for them at the sports bar, cheering for the Pack. But I didn't live in Wisconsin. I didn't understand the euphoria that comes after the win and the way it totally changes the city. Living in Seattle and experiencing that last year, it was a morale boost that the city badly needed, and it's awesome to see the 12. When I'm down in Seattle in my Uber car and I'm watching the game get out and I'm watching the streams of people coming out of the stadium and the smiles and it's just the most amazing thing to see. I love the Seahawks. I am so happy that they have continued their success in 2014 and now 15. It'll be a difficult game for me, this one coming up with the Pack, but the Packers have won 4, and I think because of what happened in 2005, more than anything, I would like to see the Seahawks get 2 in a row. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't happen, but I'm rooting for the Hawks this time, even though I'm a Packer fan, so I guess I'll have to do something really goofy. There, get my 12 here. Can you see it? There it is, 12. Okay, this is profoundly stupid. I wear 2 hats. I wear 2 hats, but this year I'm rooting for the Hawks. So, go Hawks! Super Bowl 2015!